Welcome to Tom's River Show. Almost said the wrong show name. It's because this is a recorded show and I just did the Shore Show radio. Welcome to the Tom's River Show. I'm Pat O'Melia here on GGR. And if you haven't, please download the Live 365 app. Download it, put it in GGR, and boom, you're listening to the Tom's River Show. You're listening to the Shore Show. You're listening to the City Show. We got medical shows, call-in shows coming up. We're doing with RWJ Barnabas up in North Bergen on, I think it's 36th Street at the Kennedy Center. For you people from Jersey City, it's the old Sears building. And almost everybody in Tom's River has a Jersey City connection. Somewhere, either you moved from Jersey City, your parents moved from Jersey City, your grandparents, there's a connection. For that matter, I really needed a haircut. But every time I went into Leo's on Route 37, he was like really packed. And I didn't want to go in there because I just came back. I just got off getting a stent put in my heart, and I lost a lot of blood. So I'm still on the low level of hemoglobin. And I really didn't want to go into any place where I might get COVID or a cold or anything like that. So if I've seen a lot of cars parked out front, I didn't go in. But I finally got a haircut yesterday. There weren't many people in there. I try when I do my best when I'm in Jersey City or in Tom's River or in Seaside to patronize the small businesses. So I do my best. And Leo does a good job. And he's pretty spry there. And I bet Leo's in his late 80s. Does a good job. And we're going to talk about some small businesses here. And when we come back from commercial, we're going to talk about Dan Roderick, my buddy Dan. Tell you what, I'm going to say this up front before I go to commercial. I think Dan is right on most of the situations he talks about. We're going to talk about Dan Roderick and the homeless situation at the Bon Jovi Soul Kitchen and dumping homeless people. We're going to talk about Trump and tariffs, talk about a good roofing company. What am I talking about? We're going to talk about I'm buying a vehicle for my high school program at Eppy's in Tom's River. I'm going to talk about all that and more when I come back. Again, you're listening to the Tom's River Show here on GGR. We'll be right back.
Comprehensive healthcare is here, and here. RWJ Barnabas Health is healing, enhancing, and investing in Hudson County with its two newest locations, Hoboken and Exchange Place. Within walking distance or accessible by mass transit, our locations combine convenience with primary and specialty care, including cardiology, women's health, orthopedics, cancer care, and more. Let's be healthy together.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net. We're back. You're listening to the Tom's River Show. We were doing the Tom's River Show for quite a while before I got sick. First, I got the flu during the holidays, and then I decided we should probably do some tests on me because I want to get my knees done. And then we found there was an abnormality when they did a CAT scan. Then I had to get a stent, and then I lost some blood. So now I'm getting back in the groove here. Right now we're doing a half-hour version of the Tom's River Show. Might keep it that way. Maybe go back to an hour as we did before. But either way, we're back. And again, please, if you haven't, or tell your friends, download the Live 365 app so you can get GGR. Now, our buddy Dan Roderick, like I said before, Dan's doing everything he said he would do during the campaign, and he's keeping his word. And I really don't have many differences with what Dan has done since he's been the mayor. Now, Dan has he's probably by now it's national. Dan has a problem with the county of Ocean and homeless people at the Bon Jovi Soul Kitchen that, for whatever reason, they put in the library, the county library in Tom's River. Listen, I understand what Bon Jovi is doing. He operates a fine organization. Again, you can go and eat at the Soul Kitchen. A lot of people pay it forward. They'll go to the Soul Kitchen. They'll pay for somebody's dinner or a sandwich when they're paying their bill. If you don't have money to pay, you can volunteer at the Soul Kitchen. You can clean off some tables, sweep the floor, clean some dishes, and that'll cover the cost of your meal.
Now, there has been a situation where there are a lot of homeless adults outside the library hanging out there. And Dan Roderick has an issue with that. I think I agree with Dan Roderick. Now, we all want to help the homeless as best we can, but there is a time and place. The place isn't at the county library. There are other places in Ocean County where they could put the Soul Kitchen besides a library, where the people are hanging outside, moms with kids or kids going to use the services of the library, have to walk through this whole crowd. Now, this started, he had to complain, and he's talking about what Dan is saying, that the county is dumping homeless people at the library. Now, a lot of people, dollars dumping people. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. We had that situation in Jersey City, the homeland for your people at Toms River, where dumping was occurring quite a bit. Normally by the PAT stations. Nobody ever proved it. There's a lot of innuendo on this. But in New York City, they would give them PAT fare, go to Jersey City. Now, on the PAT stations on Journal Square, big homeless situation there. To some degree in the downtown PAT station, but not like on Journal Square. There is homeless situations everywhere. I think the count that I read in Toms River, the homeless was something like approximately 170 people. And Seaside Heights reportedly had 53 homeless people, which is astonishing when you figure the population of Seaside Heights is somewhere like 2,000 people. And there's not a lot of people in Seaside Heights. For that matter, you drive into Seaside, my kids have a house in Seaside Heights, a two-family, they Airbnb the bottom floor. You ride into Seaside Heights at night in the off-season, like all the houses are dark. There's no lights on. And anyone that is on, it's on a timer or they're solar. So is the county dumping them? That's real possible. Now, for a long time, prior to, I guess, when Mayor Vaz first became the mayor of Seaside Heights, the county was utilizing the off-season motels in Seaside for county clients. And they would be sending these people to Seaside, and there was a big homeless population that was, I guess you're not homeless, you're staying in a motel. And they would stay in the motels until April, where they, had to get out of here now. We're starting up for the tourism season. That was a problem for Seaside Heights. I know Seaside Heights Mayor Vaz had many meetings with the county commissioners. I know I spoke to him a few times concerning the situation there. And what Mayor Vaz did, who was a man of action, he started going after the motels that were bad actors, people who didn't do a good job operating in motels. And in the last 3 years, there are 24 less motels in Seaside Heights, and that's all due, for the most part, to Mayor Tony Vaz and his effort to make Seaside Heights a family borough, where baby strollers and all that, you'll see. I agree with Dan Roderick. I believe there is a situation where people are being transported to the Soul Kitchen. I think it might be a situation where wherever they're staying at night, they can't stay there during the day, and they truck them out. And that is a problem. I don't know how Bon Jovi even agreed. I don't know if this might have been politics. This might be got you politics, where Roderick isn't exactly one of the team players in Ocean County with the Ocean County Republicans. He's certainly not on the team there with George Gilmore. There could be some political got you going on here. But how the hell do you put this type of operation? Again, will serve the homeless if they don't have money and they just do some volunteer work in the restaurant there. Again, cleaning the tables, sweeping the floor, and they can get a free meal. I don't know how this business got into the Ocean County Library. I was told before that there was a Dunkin' Donuts there, and the Soul Kitchen took that spot. Now, like I said, is there dumping going on? That is really possible. Like I said, in Seaside Heights, somehow all these people got there, and they were in those motels, and now less motels, and they're probably distributing the homeless through Ocean County, and Toms River is the county seat. So I would assume that, there probably is some dumping going on there. And, again, Dan Roderick is 100% right. Now, he's not against the homeless people. He's against them being trucked into Toms River. You see, he doesn't have a problem with homeless people who are indigenous to Tom's River, born and raised Tom's River people. There's a problem with people who are trucked into Tom's River and may become a Tom's River problem. So I agree with that. We all want to help the homeless. Ocean County, I think Ocean County, maybe one or two of the counties that don't have a full-time homeless shelter. That's probably something they should look into. Probably not in Tom's River. But it's a big county, Ocean County. I'm sure they can find an acceptable location. Again, nobody wants this. Yeah, nobody wants to admit it, but nobody wants this in their neighborhood. But it is a necessary evil that has to be addressed so we can help these people who are homeless. You don't want them freezing. You don't want them starving. We want to do the best we can. Hopefully, we could retrain some of these people, give them a skill or a craft. That's one of the reasons, what I'm doing with the studios and the radio here. I'm taking high school juniors and seniors, and I'm trying to educate them into studio production, from editing to camera work to lighting to sound to set design to green screen keying, in hopes these kids, and of course the radio, they're engineering the radio for that matter. I just had the kids in the studio today. We're working on some projects now. We might be having some summer jobs for them. The more experience I can give these kids, the better off they are. Now, some of the kids got full scholarships. I'm very impressed. If they elect to go to college with the experience we're giving them in the studio, hopefully they can get a scholarship and they will continue their education. And they will join the AV clubs at the college. They'll host their own radio stations as we're doing here right now. If not, with the experience we have and the networking we're doing, there are major motion picture studios opening in New Jersey. Monmouth County, you're going to have the big, huge Netflix one. Working with Vin Coppell, I'm working to establish a relationship with the Netflix people. We have a relationship with Cinelease in Jersey City, a huge motion picture studio. Dan there, I've been working with him for the last couple of years. You got 1888 studios under construction in Bayonne, and you have Lion Gate Studio in Newark. These are all people I'm working on relationships with. The experience that we're giving these kids now, a practical experience that they can utilize through life. If you're not going to be in the motion picture business, you can do social media. If you're going to be in journalism, future journalism, you're going to have to shoot your own footage and edit it and put it up on social media. These are the things that we could train kids to do this. We could train adults into a different field or even into this field. It doesn't matter. But there is no shortage of jobs in Ocean County. So it's really hard to understand how these people don't have jobs and are homeless. You go down Route 37, everybody's looking for help. So I agree with Dan Roderick, what he's saying there, that he doesn't want the homeless. He certainly doesn't want homeless dumped there. Tom's River is more than willing to work with their own indigenous residents of Tom's River, born and bred Tom's River people who have come on hard times. Dan Roderick will be the first guy to help those people out. But he doesn't want a situation being piled on to him. So I agree with him. I don't know what the lease is at the JBJ Soul Kitchen, but whoever decided to put this in a public library, it is a competent buffoon, or it was a political move here. But I just wanted to say, I know we were talking on 101.5 today on Dennis and Judy about this. Dan didn't call in. They wanted Dan to call in. For that matter, they were looking for Bon Jovi to call in. You probably had a better chance of Bon Jovi calling in than Dan Roderick calling in. But, this is starting to pick up some steam. So, you'll hear more about this as it goes on. Trump and tariffs. Now, for that matter, we were doing the city show the other day. We got a call. Somebody was saying I was too supportive of Trump. I don't care if you love or hate Trump. We need Trump to be successful. We went through 4 years of like the friggin' dark ages that just occurred. It was terrible. I had money the first Trump term. Biden got in. It was like he came in and took all my money. I'm trying to get equipment for the high school program where during the first Trump administration, I would have just bought the equipment. Now I'm out there begging. I'm scanning eBay, trying to get the friggin' best prices. Before I just called B&H. Hey, send me some computers. Send me some microphones. We need Trump to be successful. Now, he pulled these tariffs. And, listen, there is a problem. There's been a problem. I used to work for the Trans-America Corporation. Ocean-going containers, ships, all that, Trans-Pyramid building. I worked with them. And I used to buy, sell, and repair tractor trailers. So Trans-America, I used to repair the trailer equipment. My old boss would tell me, when you're riding down a turnpike and you see stacks of ocean-going containers, we got a problem. The economy is bad. We got a trade deficit. Well, it's impossible not to have a trade deficit. And you and I, we don't pay attention to these trade tariffs. When, China's hitting us over the head with, what was it, 56% tariff, and we're charging like 15%. You won't find a Chrysler or a Chevy in China because it's just too expensive, and they're preventing outside products from getting in here. The only product China accepts in is the ones they steal, intellectual property and copyrighted properties that they will bootleg. They don't want anybody else's equipment or product in there. So that's why it's as far as the United States is concerned, no matter what tariff we put on China put on us, doesn't make a difference. Our stuff's not going over there. You don't see anything manufactured in America. Now, I will admit, I don't know what we're manufacturing much anymore. We were a global manufacturing and industrial power at one time. And I think since the 80s, with all these appeasing deals we did to foreign nations, we lost that. All that jobs went to Mexico, jobs went to China. China, they got slave labor over there, child labor. People here are trying to make a living wage. So we lost a lot of business, and a lot of this started in the 80s when I was with Transamerica. I remember Ed Danielski pointing it out back in the early 80s. There's a problem here. See all these containers? That was the beginning of it. Trump now, he eased the tariffs for 90 days with the exception of China. Now, a friend of mine, I was out sick for a while, and Fernando Uribe, I'm sure you know Fernando. He's a conservative talk show host. I produce one of his 20 shows that he hosts every week. I produce one here in the studio for him. He had picked me up a couple of Trump souvenirs, a refrigerator magnet and a Trump commemorative coin. And I was here Tuesday when he came in to tape. I was finishing up the City show, radio show. And he goes, I finally got to see you. He's hugging me and all that. And he goes, yeah, I meant to give you these. And it's nice, I'll put it on the refrigerator. And it's a really nice commemorative coin with Donald Trump. On the back of the coin, I look at it, it says, made in China. Ironic. But I agree. Now, he suspended the tariffs with the exception of China, and the stock market went, yes, and everybody made a ton of money. I have a friend of mine who's in real estate saying, I got to get in the stocks. I want to get some stocks. I got to talk to a stockbroker, stock guy, blah, 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 blah. I'm sure he did. Yesterday, the light went back on. Everything was back to normal. Tesla's stock went up 20 some odd percent. I don't know how many billions of dollars Elon made yesterday, but Elon's doing okay. Not like he had a problem before. The guy has like $800 billion. But I'm like 100% in favor of what Donald Trump did tariff-wise. Now, I think he said, or somebody said, we may have to take some medicine, but it had to change. If we learned anything from the pandemic, when we couldn't get masks or vaccines or medicine because it wasn't made here anymore, that had to change. We couldn't get chips for cars. Our manufacturers were building cars and they had to sit because we didn't have chips. That has to change. And one of the first things you have to do is have a balance with import and exporting. That's what the tariffs are. And it looks like everybody's coming to the table except China. Now, it was reported that 25% of China's product manufactured there is shipped to the United States. And one of the financial guys said, well, that's not really going to impact China. You don't know? Tell me anything where I could take if I take 25% of your pay right now, you don't think that's going to impact you? Of course it's going to impact China. But the problem is they got used to it. All these foreign nation countries were all used to whatever the appeasement was going back. It might have been from Nixon going to China. I'm not sure who started this, and Jimmy Carter and Gerald Ford and all. But to me, it started in the 80s. I remember with Ed Danielski with the Canadians warning me about this. This is going to be a problem. That had to change. And we allowed this to happen, the United States. The average person knows nothing about tariffs. Now we're starting to learn about tariffs, and we see there's an imbalance. Can we get manufacturing back? I don't even think we built TVs here. We invented the television. We don't build TVs here anymore. So what he's doing, I'm at the end, I'm going to be 68 years old in May. I'm looking at my kids' future. We all need to look at our kids' future. So we're going to have to ride with Trump for a year, but it looks like right now everybody's happy. I think the one guy Shift saying he wants to see who profited from the tariff situation over the last week. You know, Adam Schiff, please go away. Go away, these Democrats. You got your butts kicked. You guys don't change your attitude, you're not coming back. I'll tell you, I got a friend of mine, Stephen Fulop. He's running for mayor of New Jersey. For that matter, on YouTube yesterday was a survey. Who would you support from governor? The last poll that came out, Stephen Fulop is now in second place in the Democratic primary. I think about 5 points behind Mikey Sherrill. I would like to see my friend be the governor, my friend that I can call up on the cell phone. Hey, Gov, you know, that would be good. Like I call him now, he's the mayor. Problem is, if Trump is rolling as he is right now, and he's looking pretty good, he's got the tariff situations taken care of, you know, the sky isn't falling, maybe we stop attacking Elon. If people think like Elon's trying to profit from this, Elon's profited enough. He's got $800 million. He probably made more money than God yesterday when the Tesla stock went up. We have to roll with Trump for at least a year to see how this goes. But if he is rolling good in November, you're probably looking at Jack Citarelli as the governor because everybody's just going to get caught up in the euphoria of a good economy. All right, let's break for commercial. I'll pick this up on the rebound. You're listening to the Tom's River Show. I'm Pat O'Melia on GGR. I'll be right back.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
We're back. You're listening to the Tom's River Show here on GGR. I'm Pat O'Melia. Got like 6 minutes left of the show. Again, I would like to see my friend Steve Fulop be the governor. Actually, I'm friendly with Steve Sweeney. Nice guy. But I'm not going to be able to pick up the phone and say, hey, Steve, Pat O'Melia here. So I'd like to see Steve Fulop be the mayor. But I'm telling you, if Trump is rolling coming in November and everybody's happy, you know, Citarelli, he came close to knocking off Murphy the last time. And Citarelli's been campaigning for governor for 12 years now. I like Bill Spadea, a fan of him on the radio, until he started going about talking about cooking and chickens and stuff like that. I prefer news. I don't think it's going to work out for Spadea. We'll see what happens. I'll tell you what, if Trump endorses Spadea, Spadea is in the running. If Trump endorses Citarelli, Spadea is done. If Trump endorses no one, I think Spadea has a hard time. When that said, let's go. And the thing with Elon, I just had a guest on the City Show, Commissioner Bill O'Day, when we're talking about Doge. We need Doge in New Jersey. For that matter, just talking to some of the high school kids who had some situations they were talking about it. So we need Doge. We need to get a handle on the expense. Jersey can't be as expensive as it is. For that matter, I got to bring Steve Fulop in one of these days, an interview with him. And I want real ways that we're going to cut expenses. And the first thing, it's got to be the schools. We've got to do something that we can fund the schools and not have it ridiculous. Well, we got to cut down school districts. We don't need 565 school districts. But that's for another show. Twin City Roofing, right here in Tom's River, right on Route 37. They just did some work on my kid's roof in Seaside Heights. Some of the shingles came loose, and there was some birds making a nest in the wood where the gutter's attached. So they took care of that. And I noticed, a few days later, that one of the shingles were high, I don't know if they missed it or it was just that the way the shingles were overlapped. So they came today. I'm trying to get out of there to get to the studio. And the guys ran up there, and it was a bent nail. They took care of that, nice and flush. If you need, because these guys also did my kid's garage, the roof on the garage, 2-car garage. You guys need a roofer in Toms River, somebody who's going to stand by their work and professional. Twin City Roofing, there in Toms River. They will do a good job for you. For that matter, the work they did in my kid's garage, still holding up well. Toms River, what is it with you people and pets? Now, I'm a part of the ring community. So when the people in Toms River, and it is constant, it's like 5-6 times a night, lost cat, lost dog, lost rabbit, lost penguin, whatever the hell they're losing. Is it so bad in Toms River that all these animals are leaving? Every night. Oh, can somebody help me find my dog? Can someone help me find my pet? Which is almost right up with is anybody else's internet out or their power out? For that matter, I got to get Roderick on the show one of these days, too. Whoever we need to sue in Toms River for the power supply needs to be done. But as many as there are complaints about people losing cats, I don't know what it is. I don't know if you're bad pet owners. These cats and dogs are just escaping. I'm in the ring community in Jersey City. I don't know how many times bigger than Toms River that is. Occasionally you'll have somebody, I lost a dog, or there's a dog in my backyard. It's constant in Toms River. The only thing more constant than the pet situation is the power. And people will say, is your power out? And, yeah, it's out. It's usually out, constantly out. I'm buying I'm going to drop a down payment tomorrow on it, a Ford Transit Connect van. Like I said before, I'm teaching high school kids studio production, radio production, and we need a vehicle that we can work to do off-site locations, where we're either doing radio where the kids can cover their high school baseball games, or we can cover their high school graduations. We need a vehicle that's small enough that the kids can handle, new enough that you don't have to worry about it breaking down. So I've been doing a lot of research, and unfortunately on Route 37, you had Michaels and Son, right there by, is that Garfield Avenue? I think they're on Garfield Avenue off Route 37. And Eppy's on Route 37. Now, Michaels, they had a Ford Transit in there. It was below my budget, but it had 184,000 miles on it. And I know I would have to put $2,000 to $3,000 to get it up to the condition that I could use it for the high school kids. The only benefit that had, it had a row of seats in it. The other connects I looked at didn't. So if the kids are in the other connect, they'll be sitting on a beanbag. Eppy's, they had one there that I'm going to put the down payment tomorrow, and hopefully we'll buy it next week or the week after. It had 54,000 miles on it. Pretty good shape, and plus it was white. The one at Michael's was blue, so we can put our lettering on it, and then I'll get magnetic signs, because if I'm working with North Bergen High School, put the North Bergen High School Sports and Entertainment on. If I'm working with Hoboken High School, put theirs on. But the basic one is the Hudson County High School Sports and Entertainment. That's the parent company of this, our not-for-profit. But if you're looking for a used car, whether it's Michaels and Sons on 37 or Eppy's, both there, Kenny, who used to have Kenny's used cars on Fisher Boulevard's working with Eppy's now. Kenny's an honest guy. Both of those guys will let you take those cars over to CNC over on Clifton with Chris and Pat and get them checked out, and that's something you definitely want to do. I'm a car guy, but I'm not a car guy with a lift and all the technology that Chris and Pat have, where they can check these things in and out. You're spending money. You want to make sure you got a good unit. So first off, good reputation with Michael and Sons, good reputation with Eppy's, and of course you got Chris and Pat who will do their due diligence to make sure you get a good car. So I'm going to do that tomorrow. Then I have a meeting up in, for you Jersey, it's the old Jersey City people, the Sears building in Union City. We're going to produce a medical TV show up there. All right, so I'm done, right? I'm going to close out the show. I want to thank you for listening. Don't forget to download the app at Live 365. I'm Pat O'Melia, Toms River Radio on GGR. You be good, you be safe. I'll talk to you later.